The StyleMethod podcast, helping you avoid fashion disasters one sassy tip at a time. Celebrity and high-end personal stylist Amy Salinger dives into style wins, fashion fails, and closet confessions with women of all shapes, budgets, and lifestyles. Expect expert tips, unfiltered advice, and maybe a little tough love, all in the name of great style. It's time to unlock your signature look. Welcome back to the StyleMethod podcast, where it's real talk, real style, real you. I'm your host, Amy Salinger, celebrity high-end and personal stylist, and of course, the founder of the StyleMethod system. And today, I'm talking about me. Anyone that knows me is laughing right now because it's my favorite subject, as it should be everyone's favorite subject. Love thyself. It is very important. But today it's easy breezy for me because I am talking about how I became a high-end personal stylist, which actually is a very weird and winding story. And I get tons of emails from young kids being like, I would love to get into this. How did you do this? You know, all the questions about what to do, especially these days with all these like become a fashion stylist certificate programs that I'm like, I didn't do any of that shit. I literally made it up out of thin air and started just pushing forward on a path, and look where we are today. So I have mixed emotions about all of these stylist universities that are out there. Sure, they assist you, but I got to be honest with you, they're not, in my opinion, giving you a leg up in the actual industry. Biggest advice I give everybody, go out and find a mentor. Go out and do internships. Go out and work for free on the set of fashion photo shoots or whatever side of styling you want to get into. This is where the real work, the real learning, the real connections occur. You getting some certificate online is not really going to do it. I'm so sorry. And I understand if you don't live in a place and you don't have access to this type of stuff, but then see what you can do as far as working with someone virtually, because there is still connections to be had. That is my biggest advice. How I got started in this is a bit of a longer story. I mean, I've always been a creative person. I was a competitive ice skater and dancer growing up. Yes, that meant like on the ice at 6:30. It meant dancing until like 9:30 at night and all the things in between, which meant you had to get good at hair and makeup pretty fast because my face was always painted and my hair was always in some sort of do. I learned to French braid my hair by myself behind my head by 6 years old. How the hell did I do that? Like I would like stay up late in my bedroom. I wasn't supposed to be awake, side note. My parents thought I was sleeping, and I would like practice French braiding the back of my hair. Oh my God, the things that entertained me. But to this day, I'm still like the best French braider this side of the Mississippi. And like one of my friends says, she's like, it's a lot of pain, but it's worth it in the end because I pull that shit tight. I don't want it to fall out. You'll have that French braid for like 2 weeks if you really want to. But that's how I started. And all of my childhood friends know that's my jam. Like you came to Amy to get your hair and makeup done for the dance recitals and the ice skating competitions, but also the proms, the weddings, like all of the things. Why would you pay for somebody when you have an Amy Salinger there to do it for you? And people always ask, do you want to be a hairstylist or a makeup artist? And it never really resonated with me. It like wasn't for me, even though being creative in that way made me really happy, but I didn't want to do that for a living. As I went through my schooling and I went to college at a school, Northeastern University, shout out, love, my obsession. I love that place because it is all about the co-ops, which means I worked for 6 months. I went to school for 6 months and I did all of these different jobs. Oh my God. I worked at the phone company in a cubicle doing like management conference planning. Oh, I basically had hives for 6 months. I would wake up and like cough. I'm like, I think I'm sick. I can't go to work today. But shout out to all you people who work in cubicles in a corporate environment. I could barely make it through 6 months. And I learned all these things that like, I'm like, hell no. Like, this is not what I want to do. This is not for me. And there is such a power in putting yourself in those different situations and learning what doesn't work for you. So thank God I went through this program at Northeastern, that I did all these co-ops and was able to learn what I didn't like. Because when I was going to graduate and, I'm sitting down with my co-op advisor and I'm like, I'm screwed. I don't know what I want to be. I don't know how I'm going to make money. I'll never forget this woman just sitting there and looking at me and being like, you're fine. And I'm like, what the hell kind of advice is that? Like, aren't you supposed to counsel me? And the interesting part is I realized as an adult, she really believed you are going to be fine. She knew I had that chutzpah, that fire inside me to figure out what was going to work. As time was rounding down, graduation's around the corner. Fashion styling in 2002, let's just throw out there how long ago that was just becoming a thing. Like, Rachel Zoe was just coming out on TV. For those of you that don't know who Rachel Zoe is and you're interested in fashion, go read up, go Google some things, because she's really the one who kind of started this whole universe, this career. Prior to her, celebrities were left to their own devices. There was costume designers, which are people that worked on movies, and there were people that worked at photo shoots, and those were considered the fashion stylists, but they were photo shoot fashion stylists, or videos, if you remember those days of MTV when we actually had them. Wardrobe stylists. There was not individual fashion stylists that we have today, at least not in the same way. And celebrities were struggling. Google Julia Roberts in the 90s in a man suit at a movie premiere, and you'll be like, oh, very obviously these people did not have fashion stylists. They would literally go to the store, buy something off the rack, and it didn't turn out a lot of times very well. So Rachel Zoe saw this and she was like, I can help you. You have an upcoming movie premiere or an award show. Do you need help with it? And the person was like, oh my God, yes, please help me. And poof, there became the emergence of the career of fashion styling. And I started to see this as the talking heads on TV, on the news started coming around. I was like, oh my God, I can totally do this. And side note, I went to college thinking I wanted to be a news anchor. And I quickly realized I don't even watch the news. Why would I want to report it? I just wanted to be on the news, be talking about fashion on TV. This came very naturally to me, being a talking head, as you're very surprised by in this moment. So I decided I wanted to be a fashion stylist. No background, no education, none of these things. And I later found out my friends in college were like, this bitch is crazy. Like, her style is naked. And what that meant is the less clothing I could put on, the better. I mean, I was looking good. It was college. I was like backless, low cut, short. I mean, I can't believe some of the shit I used to wear, especially to my hosting job. They used to tell me to go home and put on a longer skirt, and I would just give them a look and walk away. I can't believe I had the balls to do that, but then they would just let me go about my shift with a skirt that was way too short. I don't know what I was thinking, but here we are, a more mature version of myself later being like, damn girl, that was not okay. And looking at it as a fashion stylist, I'm definitely like, woo, too much offered up front. So I went into it. I said, I'm going to be a fashion stylist. I decided I was moving, went from Boston to Chicago, and I started legitimately Googling advisor opportunities. Who can I talk to? And making cold calls. Hi, my name is Amy Salinger, and I hear that you're an X, Y, or Z. You work at photo shoots. You're an agent. You're a makeup artist. You're another stylist. Can I assist you? How can I learn? What can I do for you? And these Chicagoans are some nice Midwest people, and they were sending me all over the place to different people, different connections. It's also a much smaller world than New York. And so I had direct and easy access because people are much nicer. And not that people in New York aren't nice. I mean, I love my fellow New Yorkers. There's just a hella competition going on there that's different than Chicago. And I started doing photo shoots. I started styling for small local magazines. I started doing all the things. And if you remember back in the day, Oprah used to have Harpo Studios out in Chicago, and that's where she filmed the Oprah show. This was huge at the time. And getting in there was like getting behind the the iron gates, if you will. You wanted in. My agent for photo shoots left and went to Harpo, and I was like, "Don't forget me." And she was like, "I got you." A year later, random phone call. She's like, "Hey, would you do makeovers for the Oprah show?" And I was like, "You don't even, I'll do anything for the Oprah show." Like, yes. And she was like, "You would be behind the scenes. We need a local young stylist that would help us, restyle on the outside. And then it would be on the Oprah show." And I was like, "Done." She's like, "All right, come in for your interview." And as I was waiting in that little waiting room, being like, "Holy shit, I'm at Harpo right now at 26 years old." She came out to greet me and she was like, do you work with individuals ever doing private fashion styling?" Well, the short answer is no, but the longer answer was like, yeah, of course I do. Because I'm 26 and I'm going to say yes to everything with the chutzpah that I had that, yeah, sure, I can do this. So I told her yes. And I went into the interview with one of 6 senior producers at the Harpo show, or Harpo Studios at the Oprah show. And yes, they hired me to do the Oprah show, but more importantly, that was my first private client, was this executive producer at Harpo. And she sent me over to other senior producers. I met Nate. You remember Nate Burkus? Oh my God, the interior designer, so cute. I was working with one of the producers and she's like, "My best friend is coming over. My best friend is coming over." And I'm like styling in her bedroom, clothing, doing fabulous outfits. And I'm like, "Okay, great. Your best friend's coming over." And all of a sudden around the corner comes Nate Burkus. And I almost had a heart attack because, you got to play it cool. And this has happened to me so many times in my career. It's mind blowing that like famous people, A-listers are around you and you're like, "Keep it together. Don't act like a crazy person. Be professional." When inside you're going, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening right now." And like that just continued to go on throughout my career. I ended up leaving from Chicago, going to New York, and literally starting from scratch again. But I got so many amazing lucky breaks by just having a big mouth. And again, chutzpah. You don't have a plan B, you keep going with plan A. And trust me, it was hard. Like I was definitely a server in between at different places trying to make some money. Then the housing market crashed in '08. Oh my God, I was so fucked. Like it was bad. My career was just starting to take off and everything fell apart. And sometimes I'm grateful that I didn't end up getting a real job during that time. That wasn't for lack of trying. It was because everyone was trying to get a real job and I was just sitting there staring at the walls. But it allowed me to start thinking about how I want to build out my business during my days and days and years of absolute and utter boredom. The other thing is I did have some resume building stuff under my belt. Not only the stuff I did in Chicago, but when I first got to New York, oh my God, I was asked, because I put my name out there everywhere, to be an assistant on a very big photo shoot with a very big celebrity. They wouldn't tell me who until the day of. And I got there and it was goddamn Kate Moss. That's the first photo shoot I did in New York City. Holy shit. You want to talk about having to keep calm? I'm the one who is in the dressing room with just her because I'm literally helping her get dressed and throwing things at her. This girl was so cool. I mean, she was everything you dream a Kate Moss would be. I fell in love with her. I had a massive girl crush. In addition to being so cool, watching a master at work model like that, oh my God, it was behind the scenes on steroid because I was getting to see a genius at her job. And let me tell you, every frame better than the next. I couldn't believe what was going on. That was just part of it. My gosh, I got to style, that's right, Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. Like that was crazy too, because I was just a little kid new on the block and I'm like, it's Destiny's Child. And she too was really amazing and awesome. And like the more opportunities I got, the more it led into more opportunities. And like, yes, this was a crazy slow build. It took years. I am not going to pretend like this was not uphill and this did not take many, many, times at bat trying to do it and trying to get there. But like, The laundry list of things that I've done. Wait, let me think. Oh, yeah. New York City Fashion Week. I got a microphone and I had a video guy, and I was working for a fashion website, and they were like, just go, do your thing. And I was like, seriously? The microphone is your suit of armor. You can walk up to anybody and be like, hi, I'd like to interview you. And all of my years of watching bad reality TV and reading Us Weekly served me well, because I was the person that all the other people doing the same thing I was doing were there following. They're like, wait, who's that person? Who's that person? And I knew all of them. I could literally be in a sea of hundreds of people at a fashion show, and I could point out every celebrity in there. I could tell you who they were married to, how many kids they had, their kids' names. Like, that was so useful when I was just walking up to people, interviewing them. The only person, oh my God, that I was so starstruck, I couldn't do it. I interviewed everyone. It was insane, the amount of people that I met. The one person that I couldn't do it was Brooke Shields. I freaked out. And I can hold my own 99.9% of the time, but I looked at her and I ran away. It was too much. It was Brooke Shields. I was like, I can't just walk up to her. It's goddamn Brooke Shields. I mean, I, of course, regretted it immediately, but like, it was still amazing. One of my favorite interviews that week was with Carmen Electra. Oh, she was giving absolutely nothing to everybody. And like, she was like, yes, yes, yes. And there was nothing like exciting about it. I was the last interview. Her person was like, she's got to go. And I'm like, one more interview. I pushed my way in there. First thing I said to her is like, I got to talk to you about your sparkly tights. I love them. She was like, I love them too. And like, that just shows you the power of wardrobe and connection, and talking to someone about loving their outfit and what will come out the other side. She was delightful. She was a super fun interview once we got through that block, and she loved talking about her sparkle tights because they were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, skip ahead. Like, I've been on a ton of different news programs in front of the camera. I would fly around the country, me and my suitcase full of like things that I was promoting, basically. Like, think about like, these are the top things you want to buy for the holidays. I was that girl on all of the news programs that was talking about them. And I would be on the airplane after I was on air. Oh my God, it was rinse and repeat. And I would be up at 6 a.m., setting up my table, doing the newscast, getting in the car, going to the airport, fly to the next city in the United States, do it again for 2 weeks in a row. You want to talk about exhausting? They don't do shit like that anymore. Everything is now, and I've done these too, a satellite media tour where you sit in one spot and you literally have an AirPod. Well, it's not an AirPod, but whatever goes in your ear that like, you're talking to a blank screen. You can't see anyone, and you are back to back 25 interviews for hours on end, trying to make the same information sound interesting to a faceless audience. That, my friends, is very difficult. Usually having an audience is a lot easier. I mean, oh my God, I did the reality show thing twice. The first one, straight up open audition. I just went, I found out they were doing a Tommy Hilfiger show. They were looking for people. It was in Chicago. I went to an open audition, and I was myself. That's the best way to put it. And I beat out 11,000 people and ended up on this reality show on CBS that, number one, lasted one season. But more than that, after being trying out and getting in over 11,000 people, I was kicked off. I'm sure you can call it first. I was kicked off first, and you're sequestered. You cannot talk to anybody when you do these shows because they can't know when people were kicked off. So I was literally on the show filming for 5 days, and then was kicked off and went to some like shining like hotel, like the movie, a golf resort in the middle of January that nobody was at, outside Atlantic City. And I was there. I'll never forget. So, ma'am, you'll be checking in for 44 days. 44 days. This was a while ago. So I had no phone, no internet, couldn't talk to anybody. And every 3 days, a new cast member showed up. And let me tell you, that was the real reality show, because shit got crazy. There was nothing to do. You're in the middle of nowhere outside Atlantic City in the winter. That was a reality show unto itself. The other one I did, that was on Lifetime. I was a cast member, so I was like, I'm going to say yes because this is me being featured. It was about Million Dollar Shoppers. Go ahead and Google it. It's absurd. That was about 10 years ago. But it was on right before Project Runway. So it had like a really good entry, into the world. It was entertaining when it aired. When I did it, I was like, kill me now. It seems all glamorous, but you're like, oh my God, this is exhausting. And like, I'm doing the job of 3 different people and I'm getting paid the job of a quarter of a person. And you're expected to be all in all the time because it's for the exposure. And yeah, I got exposure. I would walk down the street. People knew who I was. It was totally weird. They're like, oh my God, Amy from Million Dollar Shoppers. I was walking red carpets with Alyssa Milano. Dude, that was nuts. She walked the carpet and I was like, I guess I'm walking next. Hey, Alyssa. Yeah. She's like, who are you? It doesn't matter. It was exciting for me. It was, I've done so much crazy shit at the end of the day. And it's all fun and it's all exciting. And becoming a stylist is one of the best decisions I ever made because it floats my creative boat. It lets me run a business and really get that entrepreneurial side out of me. And let me tell you, there's a lot more to styling than just being creative. There is so much logic. There is so much organization. And I've gotten to the other side of really doing what I love, which is working with real, fabulous, and amazing people. But the stories that have come through me have been totally insane. I'm so happy to have lived it. And I mean, honestly, I'm happy to have shared it with you. If you have even more questions about my insanity, please, StyleMethodPodcast.com. Go there, ask all the questions. Ask me styling questions in addition to questions about my absurd life. But yes, say yes to life and you will see what comes out the other side. And I am such an example of that in terms of my career. Go for it. It's so worth it. You will be happier if you are doing something you absolutely love, just like me. Follow at StyleMethodCo.com. See all of the fun ups and downs and get all the tips. Take all of this amazing knowledge that's up here that I have gathered over the past 20 years doing this and let me help you. Join me for another episode next time of Style Method Podcast. Thank you for joining this time and listening to all of my absurdities.